Once a year during Fleet Week, United Airlines opens up its maintenance facilities to small planes to display for their United Family Day. This is my airplane. It's a Citabria. It's a two-seat, high-wing, tail-dragger airplane, and we had permission to fly into SFO on October 13th. This is a sample of what a chart looks like for flying in. Livermore is on the top right where we came from, and San Francisco Airport is on the bottom left. You'll see us flying over San Mateo Bridge on the lower left there. We've gotten permission to land in Class Bravo airspace, which is the airspace that San Francisco Airport controls. You'll see a picture of the runways there. There are two parallel runways basically going east-west and two parallel runways north-south. We're going to land on 28 right, which is a west-facing runway. We're heading towards San Francisco essentially. There's a parallel runway on our left. You can see the approach lights that are on the center line coming into view right now. And as we come in to land, you'll see the numbers 28 right. This is where the big guys land, and we actually had another jet that was a commercial jet on the left of us that was coming in a little bit behind us. So here we are landing on 28 right. And as soon as we touch down, the tower asks us to get off the runway as soon as possible to make way for the jets that were behind us. So you'll see us, here's a taxi diagram coming up, and the blue lines are our path. You'll see that we've just gotten off of the main runway. We're on a taxiway now. You can tell by the yellow line there. And if you look on the left very carefully, you can see from left to right one of the jets taking off on the perpendicular runway. They were taking off facing north. And now we're stopped waiting before the parallel runway. There's another jet taking off as we're stopped. Then we get permission to cross the two perpendicular runways, for the airplanes that were taking off heading north. Now we're taxiing over to the United maintenance hangars. And that's a big hangar almost on our nose. And as we come into the airspace, you will see on the right-hand side some of the big jets that were on display, and on the left-hand side you'll see the Patriots jet team. It's a six-jet L-39 team that perform aerobatic maneuvers right before the Blue Angels. Once we got there, Natasha Levine and I were sitting on display, putting the airplane on display at United Family Day. People came up and asked us about our airplane. So it was fun to see little airplanes next to all the big guys. The next thing that happened was we pulled out after the event was over at the end of the day. Here I am behind Jan Johnson out of Hayward in her beautiful L5. That's a restored airplane. And you can see we're pulling up to the line and waiting to get permission to take off. She took off before we did. Now we are getting onto the runway 28 right. It's the same runway that we were on when we landed in the morning. And so here we are pulling onto the runway, getting lined up with the center line. And as soon as we get lined up here, you'll see that I applied power, and here we go down the runway. Full power on, taking off. Right now we're, even as we speak, we're lifting off the ground. Heading again towards San Francisco. We're essentially heading west. And then we're given permission by the tower to turn right. So now we're perpendicular to the 28 runway, actually parallel to the 1 runway, which were the takeoff runways for when we were landing in the morning. And as we proceed through here, you'll see us making another right-hand turn. So at this point, we're starting to go over the water, and we're starting to parallel runway 28, but going in the opposite direction. So essentially we're heading east, and we're heading towards Hayward. You can see those hills in the distance there on the left-hand side, the upper left-hand side. And just coming into view, popping out on the right-hand side, you see the point of land. That's runway 1, which was the runway that the airplanes were taking off early in the morning when we were coming in. So those were the perpendicular runways. So it was a fun day. We want to thank United Airlines and their fantastic Family Day event, and especially John Nittenson for asking us to participate, and to the Patriots Jet team. It was a wonderful day, and we enjoyed our time there. Thank you.